Okay, and as far as I can tell, we're good to go. Um, Camille, are you still there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, good. And just real quick, we're broadcasting live on YouTube. Just make sure that you give everybody a moment to speak. There's going to be a little bit of a delay. Roll call vote for everything. We're live right now. Everyone can watch us. We'll have audience comments at the end. We're still streaming like we normally would. And I think that kind of wraps it up. And so what I'm going to do is I am going to kind of just read the little bit on the top of the agenda again. Due to COVID-19, the board meeting will be hosted remotely. The Village of Capron now has an official YouTube page where meetings will be broadcast live. We are broadcasting live to YouTube right now. The link is available through Facebook. It's on Nextdoor. We're trying to get this as easily accessible as possible. So with that in mind, I think we can kind of call this meeting order. And so I'd like to call the meeting to order at 7:05 p.m. And Miss Carolyn, can we have roll call? Thank you.
Sure. Shirley Burkhorn,
Here.
Ryan Wakely,
Here.
Conrad Lubinsky,
Yep.
Jordan Dirksen,
Here.
Camille Wilcox,
Here.
Linda Wolfarth,
Here.
Tom Green,
Tom, your microphone's off.
I'm muted right now, but that's okay.
okay,
Sorry about that.
it's okay,
No
you're
worries.
here.
I'll leave it on.
If I get a motion for approval of the agenda,
I'll make a motion.
if I can get
I'll
a second
second.
on that. Thank you. Miss Carolyn, let's go ahead and get a roll call.
Yep.
Thank you.
Shirley Burkhorn,
Aye.
Ryan Wakely,
Aye.
Conrad Lubinsky,
All right.
Jordan Dirksen,
Aye.
Camille Wilcox,
Aye.
Linda Wolfarth.
Aye.
Motion carries. And I'm just double check the stream real quick because we are using a different setup. Make sure we're still live. Okay, good. If I can get a motion for approval of the minutes.
I'll make a motion. This is Shirley.
I'll second it. This is Linda.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
And then Carolyn, go ahead with roll call.
Sure. Shirley Burkhorn,
Aye.
Ryan Wakely,
Aye.
Conrad Lubinsky,
All right.
Jordan Dirksen,
Aye.
Camille Wilcox,
Aye.
Linda Wolfarth.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Now, is there any discussion concerning the bills?
I got
Aye.
them late. So.
What do you mean late?
I just got them today,
Okay. Did you have them prior to the meeting?
just barely. I haven't had a chance to look at them in depth, no. So
Do you know when you got them today?
it was probably this afternoon, but I haven't been around all day.
Okay.
I,
So you did receive it prior to the meeting though?
Before tonight I did, yes, I got it today.
Okay. Is
And then
that
I got
your
the agenda and the minutes, I got them on the 22nd.
Okay. So are you just making a statement or what
No,
exactly?
you
is in
asked, so
that?
I'm telling you, no, I'm just telling you.
I asked if there was any questions concerning the bills.
I haven't had a chance to look them over, so my vote would be no. Otherwise,
You do have the bills though.
well, I'm not right in front of me, no, because I'm on my phone. I don't have them printed off because I don't have a printer. And I just got
So-
them this afternoon.
So I'd like to clarify that you're voting no because you haven't had time to review the bills,
That's correct.
but you do have the bills.
On my phone, yes, on the computer.
Okay.
I
Is
think
there
you can
any,
entertain the motion.
sorry, go ahead, Tom.
I'm sorry, I think you can entertain the motion in a second. And you can even have discussion after a motion in a second, and there can be further discussion. But anyway,
Okay. I'd like to entertain, or can I have a motion to approve the bills?
I'll make a motion.
I'll
And if I
second
get a
it.
second?
This is Shirley.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Shirley.
I do have some questions. I was trying to let everybody speak. I would like to say also
Okay,
that I received the bills and warrants at 4:30 this afternoon.
okay,
Just the clarifications that I would like for this round of bills is just if there could be, well, I guess, are the Home Depot charges, are we considering that towards the expenses that we approved for that? What if it was, I think, $12,000 for equipment?
yes.
We're just throwing that into that.
Well, that's what that is.
Okay, sure.
Yeah,
For sure. No, it was a little less than $3,000. If that was,
Mhm.
that was my only question. If that was from that approved general amount, then I have no other questions than that.
Okay, yep, nope, that's part of that approved amount. Okay. Is there any other questions? Okay, then Carolyn, if we can go ahead and have a roll call vote on that, thank you.
Sure. Shirley Burkhorn,
Aye.
Ryan Wigley,
Aye.
Conrad Lobinski,
All right,
Jordan Dirksen,
Aye.
Camille Wilcox,
Aye.
Linda Wolfarth.
No.
okay, motion carries. Okay, do we have any open issues to discuss right now?
The last time we were meeting, I mentioned about the stop sign here on Show Street. You were gonna
Okay.
talk to your father, so that would be old business. It still has the temporary pop-up sign, and if we start getting a lot of snow, there's gonna be a problem, and he's not gonna be able to get it in the ground once it freezes.
So I take it you haven't been outside your house lately? 'Cause
Today
there's a
I was
permanent sign in
earlier, and it
place.
was, did he do it this afternoon then?
He did it today.
Okay, because I was gonna say, when I looked earlier, it was not, it was not there.
Okay, there's a
Okay.
permanent sign in place right now.
Good, thank you so much. I'm very happy.
Okay, so we need to discuss amendment number 2 to task order 1901 pursuant to the agreement for technical services dated October 20th, 2015. I'm going to go through a spiel real quick about this, and then we'll kind of open it up for some discussions. I just would like to get this out of the way due to the delay and the way this meeting's kind of working. So the amendment we're discussing right now, everyone should have, and I'll kind of read it real quick. It's amendment number 2 to agreement for technical services, Village of Capron, Illinois, and Strand Associates Incorporated. This is amendment number 2 to the October 20th, 2015 agreement between the Village of Capron, Illinois, and Strand Associates Incorporated for technical services. And the amendment we're actually looking at today is for the compensation change. And so this amendment number 2 reference task order, services named general services under compensation. So the original agreement, which you all should have, the change is going to be from 25,000 to 40,000. And this is just for, and then it says task order amendment authorization and acceptance, engineer, Strand Associates, and then Village of Capron and myself, where I would sign. So what this is basically every time Strand comes down and does a site visit, every time they do some engineering projects for us, they work on different things, it falls under this general compensation. And that's when it doesn't fall under a specific task order or project or something that's been separately discussed or had something else drawn up for it entirely. So we changed this a little bit ago. It needs to be updated again just because of some of the increased frequency in visits due to the Dollar General, water main projects, and all that. So with that in mind, that's the only thing I want to see amended today would be for the compensation. I know that there's a discussion that we have to have about timeframes and years and when the contract goes to. I'd like to review that a bit more, and I'd like to just discuss compensation right now. So I guess with that in mind, is there any questions concerning this?
So
So
we're pretty much just extending the budget or making it a little bit bigger because of all the visits and everything.
Yes.
Okay.
doesn't their contract say that we do that in January every year anyway?
The only problem being is that the 25,000, which is the limit it originally was, as of right now, we've met that. And so the problem is that we can't basically keep requesting them to come down and continue doing visits since there's no longer a billable budget to pull from. And so that's why this came up now.
So this is a cap of what we are allowed to have them come out for?
Yes and no. More or less, what ends up happening is every so often, and typically it's once a year, is we say we budget 25,000 for engineering services, and they work within that budget. Once they get to that limit, they legally can't bill us anymore, and so they can't do any more work. And so that's what this increase is for, is because basically we've hit the limit of that budget. Does that make sense?
Not well.
So
Okay,
why
I
are
have.
we over budget?
Well, there's been a lot of visits with the water main project and then the Dollar General in particular, which we are getting reimbursed for. But it's something where we get billed first, Dollar General reimburses us through the escrow account.
This is Shirley. We approved this June 11th of 2019, so we're just adding on.
But we approved the 25,000. We didn't approve the 40,000.
Well, that's why we're discussing the 40,000 right now.
That seems like an awful lot to go up that we didn't plan on.
37.5%. Also, in the document that I read, I don't see under compensation, I don't see $25,000 anywhere.
Yeah, let's take a look real quick.
I agree with that statement from what I looked at. It may be in a separate amendment 1 or a separate schedule.
And I believe it is under Amendment 1. Because that's typically, I think, as far as I can tell, there's only been 2 amendments to this document. It's the extent or age of the document, how long it goes for, and then compensation. But no, Jordan is correct. The 25,000 is not on here. The 25,000 was Amendment 1 that we approved in June, though. So that's what this increase is based off of as far as that amendment goes.
June of 2019, not 2020, correct?
2019.
Do you have that in front of you, Ms. Shirley?
What I see is it was a draft. And it said the study and report phase was 26,000. Then basic services was 211,000. Resident project observation was 85,000, and additional services was 201,000, totaling 523,000. And then it says add the following items: 14,000 for review of existing well number 2 information, and that was after they would do well number 3. And then it says to replace the original agreement was 12,000. The net change for prior amendments was 95,000. This amendment amount says 16,000, and the adjusted agreement amount was 523,000. And that was this one was approved December 10th, 2019. This says amendment number 4. This is for services dated September 27th, 2016.
And as long as this was numbered correctly, this is an amendment number 2 to task order number 19-01. If it's number 19, then it was in 2019 that this is amending,
Right.
the original amendment.
We had a task 19-1 and a 19-2 in June of 2019.
Okay. So it's something that needs to happen is also kind of the problem. We can't continue to have them, I guess, use billable hours or put work into village projects without something like this going through. Because basically they're doing work for free at that.
But they're
You know,
still
that-
billing us monthly per this contract.
Yes, but not until something like this gets proved.
But so
So
everything that
they-
Shirley just said was talking about $500,000 and stuff like that. So how are we capping things at $25,000 and still paying $500,000 if they're not billing us for every time they come out, whether or not it's. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, that specifically has to do with the water main project, the well, and those general larger
Well, you
projects
said
like
this
that.
has to do with that also, because of all these billable hours and stuff like that, because of the water main project, because of the Dollar General project, because of all these things. If that's done and over with, because I believe the water main project is done, Dollar General, I don't know what else engineering stuff there needs to be since they're just about wrapped up with that. They're supposed to be wrapping up this month. What more do we need for them to do? And if we pay them $500,000 a year in other years, how is this $15,000 necessary to
Yeah, I
be?
agree.
Let's see if we can't get Ryan on the phone. Let's get Ryan to call in, get him a message real quick, and he might be able to explain it better, maybe in a different manner. Let me get an invite link sent over to him. So I guess until we see if we can jump in the call real quick, do we want to move on to any other topics and then come back to this, kind of roll back around? I think that's okay. As long as
Okay,
it's okay with everybody.
I'll say real quick. Okay, I'm reading the last section in the last paragraph in that section, I guess. The lump sum and estimated fees will not be exceeded without prior notice to an agreement by owner, but may be adjusted for time delays. That's basically what you're saying, is that we've gotten to that point.
Yes.
I'm reading this for like a fifth time. I'm just trying to. It's kind of a lot to read and understand. So I'm just trying to make sure that I understand all of this before.
No, definitely.
But I guess I with reading that last one again, and changes in the scope of services, adjustment will be negotiated. But
Where is this money gonna come from that we're budgeting this?
What do you mean? Where it's going to come from?
Well, we have to have the money if we're saying that we're gonna go from 25,000 up to 40,000, that they can bill us up to that amount. And this is, so we're amending it so that they can continue to do work up to the 40,000 that we will pay them. where's the money coming from that? Because right now we only budgeted the 25,000. So where's this remaining amount of money going to come out of? Where are we pulling it out of to put into this category?
So I don't have the budget in front of me.
Usually
come
there's a
back and-
contingency that stuff like this will come out of.
And that's what I was gonna say. We have money, okay? I have said this numerous times. We have money. There is money in the bank. We are better off financially than we have ever been. There is money there. We have contingency, we have emergency, we have engineering funds. We've got money set aside just in case for instances like this, okay? I do not have the numbers off the top of my head. That's something we can obviously review at the next meeting if people are having difficulties understanding the fact that we've got money. There is money there to pay for the services the village needs in order to keep functioning and keep projects moving forward. This $40,000, this amendment we're going to make is going to carry us through for another year. All right, this isn't just us saying we need to change this to $40,000 and then that's going to get us through the next 2 months. This is us making an update a little bit ahead of schedule to carry us through until next November is the goal ultimately. Because once the Dollar General's wrapped up, once a couple of these smaller housing projects and stuff are wrapped up, we really don't have a lot of engineering that needs to be going on or projects that are going to be worked on at that point. So the money's there. We've got money in the bank. I do not know how to impress that information any more than I currently am, that we have money. We wouldn't be making purchases. We wouldn't be discussing things like this. We wouldn't be getting road projects done if we didn't have money. Okay. And there is contingency and there's emergency funds. There is accessory engineering funds. There is that stuff there. Does that make sense or no?
Yes. Conrad, this is Camille.
Yep.
So just to simplify, what we currently have is like a $25,000 bucket for these fees. And we're just looking to increase it to 40 so that we can pay bills if they come in up to that point. So we're
Yes.
just increasing the bucket, basically.
Yes.
It's not, we're not saying they're going to get that much at this time. They have to earn that, but we're at least increasing the bucket size so that we have the ability to pay the bill when it comes in. That's basically all we're doing here, right?
Right, I
Yes, that's
understand
exactly what
that.
we're
I
doing.
just wanted to make sure where the money was coming to put the money in the bucket. So,
Yeah.
But it says it is a lump sum of estimated fees.
Okay, what are we looking at again?
Compensation, the third one down, the lump sum. Owner shall compensate an engineer for a lump sum or for an estimated fee on an hourly rate basis plus expenses. Lump sum, not bucket, is how I read that. And I could be wrong, but that's what it seems like when you say lump sum.
So, Tom, what does that mean then?
I'm sorry.
This is Camille.
I think you're talking, I mean, there's a little bit of semantics here, whether it's a lump sum or a bucket that has that amount in it. It's a cap. I think, Jordan, you might have called it that. It's sort of a cap against what they can bill us. And if they hit that cap, they have to stop. But yet we need engineering services to continue. So we increase the cap. We increase the amount that they're able to bill to us by this amendment. That's the way I'm understanding it.
Okay. And as you're talking, I'm reading that. I read that another like 3 times, and I guess it owner shall compensate engineer for services indicated in each subsequently issued task order for a lump sum or an estimated fee of an hourly rate plus expenses. So, okay, yes, it's the estimated fee of what can be. That lump sum is the estimated fee of subsequently issued task orders, right? Am I
That's my understanding.
okay? I
And
mean,
in
and
just
that's,
one moment, hang
that
on, I'm in
makes
touch with
sense.
Ryan. Let me get him to call in. We're just giving him a moment to join in.
Sorry.
Oh, and it looks like he's in the meeting. I'm gonna allow him to talk. I think all he has to do is unmute himself.
Yep.
Ryan, you there?
Yep. Sorry about that. It's not
No
building
problem.
Legos with my kids.
So hopefully we won't take too long and take too much of your time. I think Jordan and Linda just had some questions concerning the amendment and kind of what that meant and the way you guys charge your fees.
Yep. You bet.
I guess I'll go ahead and start. We've been discussing the exactly what the change is, because it looks like under the compensation is the change from $25,000 to $40,000. Is that just well, I guess, is that lump sum a cap of estimated fees?
Yeah. Why don't I go through what this type of agreement looks like and how the billing is and how it differs from different projects. If we take the like a standard USDA water main project, we give you a fee for our design services there and our PR services there, and that's the fee we hold to. If we do a study, it'll be a fee up to X dollars, and it's capped at that. But if we don't use all of that fee, it's less than that. The difference with the general engineering services fee is that's it's capped, but it's on an as needed basis. So the assumption is that each 2 years we're going to have about $15,000 worth of billings, and that's been the case for the last 5 years. But that's generally for smaller miscellaneous types projects. The difference here is obviously this year there's been 2 development projects, and then we're basically on call, and if you need us to work, it's just time and expense. And then once we reach our limit there, then it's time for an amendment to increase that rate or increase that fee. And, you know, there's historically hasn't been a lot of development in Capron. So the $15,000 every 2 years has historically been plenty. This year is just different with the two projects, and there's not really a limit to our billing besides what each project is capped at. Like if we were going to look at some flooding problems, Con on Red could say, hey, can you guys look into this and spend up to $2,000? And then that would be our cap for that item. For a development project, you know, we're a bit on, you know, at the whim of the developer, you know, because, you know, we were anticipating probably 5 hour PR visits for the underground work, and it just took them twice as long as we thought it was going to take. And then, you know, that's the time we're out there. And we went through 3 or 4 different plans set reviews to get it to a place that it was approvable, you know, and typically that's a 1 to 2 drawing set review. So it's just kind of on call as needed. And in Dollar General's case, it's been more. So any
we're kind of a victim of a productive year in terms of development. So there's 2 larger developments. You've had to work a bit harder and therefore generated more fees.
Yep, exactly.
You said that generally without having these big developments, 15 grand will last a couple years.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, and so we've had this agreement originally was it began in 2015, and before this development we were at only around 35 or 30. So it's just been, you know, that's almost half of our total fee has been these 2 projects over the last 5 years. So.
And then this does take it for another year from now to the following time.
Yep. So.
Okay.
Well, and similarly, we've got another task order for the IDOT Highway 173 project for just general consultation, and that's a $10,000 task order. And I think in the last year and a half, we've spent $400, and it's, you know, that's just kind of on hold, but that's the same type of task order, is just on call and as needed, and we just haven't been needed on that one. So.
Okay. All right.
Okay, any further questions for Ryan?
No,
No, not for me. Thank you, Ryan.
neither.
Yep.
Thank you, Ryan.
Good work on Legos.
Thank you. You bet.
All right, thanks, Ryan. I appreciate it.
Yep.
Have a good evening.
Yep. Thank you. Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, so with that in mind, if there's no further questions, I'd like to open the floor for a motion to approve amendment number 2 to task order 1901.
I'll make a motion.
This is Camille.
Can I
I'll
get a
second it. I'll
Sorry,
second it. This
Ms.
is
Camille, one more time.
Yes, this is Camille. I will second it.
Okay, and then a roll call vote, Ms. Carolyn. Thank you.
Sure. Shirley Burkhorn,
Aye.
Ryan Wigley,
Aye.
Conrad Lubinski,
All right.
Jordan Dirksen,
Aye.
Camille Wilcox,
Aye.
Linda Wolfarth.
Aye.
Okay, the motion carries. Thank you. Moving forward, trustee Wilcox.
Nothing at this time.
Thank you. Trustee Dirksen.
Nothing really. I just want to say that I think I guess I just wanted to I just want to say I hope I don't seem very confrontational and stuff. That's not my intent with any of my questioning and stuff like that. I hope nobody takes it as that. I just when I don't understand something, I figure some other people probably don't understand something.
Mhm.
It's it's a good possibility. So I just figure I can discuss things as much as possible, and I hope I don't seem confrontational about it. I'm just trying to get as much information as I can so that I can understand it. I appreciate everybody kind of indulging me.
Yeah, no problem at all. That's what this is for. This is what I encourage. I'm glad we're having discussion before the vote happens. I think that definitely helps move things along. And no, I don't think it's necessarily confrontational. We just need to make sure that everyone understands the direction we're moving in, what we're doing, and how we're doing it. And that's really important. And I think you're 100% correct that if you've got questions, there's probably residents that have questions as well. And there's nothing wrong with it at all. Let's get into it. Let's discuss it. Let's take a little extra time. That's what we're here for. So,
And that's all I
This is
have.
Camille.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
This is Camille.
thank you.
I totally agree with Conrad that I appreciate you asking the questions because, you don't know unless if you don't ask. And so you've had some really great questions tonight. So
Well,
keep
thank
them
you.
coming. Yeah,
I
keep
think
them coming.
part of it
Don't.
is that part of it too, I think, is that I'm being so new to this whole thing. It's I'm just kind of trying to wrap my head around everything. So it's kind of some not ignorance, but because I'm trying to learn it, but it's just still a learning curve for me. So if
I
everybody
think you're
bear with
doing
me,
a good job. You're asking good
Yeah.
questions.
thank you. But that's all I got. So thanks everybody.
Thanks. Trustee Wolfarth.
I had a question. Carolyn's been out of the office lately, and like I couldn't get my check the one day, and I had to text you, and she sent me a notice saying that she was out Thursday and Friday. That's why I didn't get the minutes or the agenda. I guess every job I've ever had, usually you have to work a full year before you incur a week's vacation. So I guess I'm wondering, why is she taking vacation?
So I'm just going to nip that in the bud right there. We're not discussing that. It's personnel matters that falls under my purview, and we're just not going to get into that period. So if you have
Okay.
nothing further, we're going to move on.
No, the other item I have is the week of December 14th is when everyone that is running for reelection is to turn their paperwork in. And they have told us at the county clerk's office in Belvedere that week the office has to be open.
So what exactly are you getting at?
I'm just, because with the COVID, we've been closed, and then with some of the time she's been off, the office is closed. But with people that are running now for mayor or trustees in the next election, all of their packets have to be turned in the week of December 14th to Carolyn in the office. And so the county clerk's office in Belvedere has said that we have to make sure that our county clerk, which is Carolyn, has the office open the week of December 14th for people to turn in their packets.
So just to clarify, Carolyn's not a county clerk. The office has been open. It's not open to in-person visitation. Everyone will have ample opportunity to turn in their packets. We'll be able to handle that. We're meeting the guidelines required by the election, and we're not doing anything to interfere with anybody's packet. So thank you for your concern, but we've got it handled, and we'll make sure to meet all requirements as necessary to effect a positive election that includes everybody that we can.
Okay. That's all.
Very well. Trustee Burgorn.
I have nothing for my department, but when I told everybody that I sent in ink cartridges, we sent in a total of 86, 10 were bad, and the village received $77 for recycled ink cartridges.
Awesome.
That's all.
That's really good. That's good.
Okay. Is that all, Ms. Burgorn?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Trustee Wakely.
Got nothing.
Okay. Mr. Green, do we have anything to touch on?
I mean, just to confirm, we closed the USDA loan. Very pleased we were able to get that done. There's a couple of other things that we're dealing with through our office. Some have been taken care of, but there's still a few pending out there with some responses due on our part, and working with the mayor and the clerk on those issues.
Awesome. Thank you very much. New business. I don't think there's any new business off the top of my head. I'm still working on the CARES Act stuff, getting things in order. Obviously, we're doing the meeting a little bit different. This is part of that thing I talked about last week where I wanted to obviously open up to be a little bit more inclusive to some kind of other interaction, right? And so just kind of touch on that. We are still broadcasting live through YouTube. We're going to keep broadcasting live through YouTube, okay? But we're also going to do is we're going to open up a registration for attendees, basically. All it does is it asks for your name and an email. That's something Zoom requires in order to get on their services to be able to be an attendant. There's no special codes. There's nothing like that. I'm going to post a link to register as an attendee. As an attendee, it allows you to ask questions. Like Ryan jumped on, you can actually make comments yourself through either voice or video means. And it's just, I guess, extending that interactive kind of opportunity for the residents. Since obviously COVID's not going anywhere anytime soon, this might be the new norm again. And so I just want to make sure that we can open up those doors as much as we possibly can. I think that's that. I'm trying to think if there's anything else off the top of my head for new business. Reports, unfinished business, not really. I guess we'll just touch on it real quick while we're in a meeting, since we are coming up on that time kind of soon. So regrettably, we are going to be canceling Christmas in Capron. So we're not going to be having any type of gathering. We're not going to be opening up the hall for that. Due to the rolling average, the increase in positivity for COVID-19 cases in Boone County, the mitigations that are now put in place, we're back to, I think, tier 3. There's possibly greater restrictions coming into place. It wouldn't be in the best interest of the residents, your safety, your health, to do something like that. So that's not going to happen this year. We're exploring other options. We might try and broadcast the tree lighting live, have something happen like that. What I'd like to do is possibly open up some form of, I guess, holiday spirit, where the residents decorate their yard, and then maybe we have kind of a little bit, the board itself is a little judge of panels for the best, Christmas yard in Capron. So I'd like to just kind of throw those ideas out there. Reach back out to me as a resident. Let me know what you think of that. Reach out to the trustees, and we'll have some other kind of interactions outside of the Christmas in Capron or in lieu of that. I think there's that. And then Carolyn's been here for a couple months now. We're still getting the office figured out. We're not going to be opening the office anytime soon to in-person visitation. That hasn't been an issue. It really hasn't inhibited our operations at all. And things are going smoothly there. And then I would also like to welcome a new employee to the village of Capron. We have a new maintenance technician. His name is Zach. Just started on this last week. So far, he's been a great fit. He's jumping in head first. He's really tackling everything we can throw at him. And I think it's going to be something that's a long-term kind of fit. It looks like he's going to be invested in the community. He is a local as well. And I just want to congratulate him and welcome him to the team. And I look forward to many years of working with him as well. I think that kind of wraps it up. So is there any closing comments before we move to audience comments?
What was Zach's last name?
It is Zachary Wilcox.
Oh, okay.
And so we had an individual in town who reached out to us, who has no relation to the board or anyone I know. I've never met the individuals before. And they said they had an individual they knew who was looking for work. I had an interview, sit down with him. It went great. We offered him a position. He jumped on board and he's really kind of tackled it.
And are we allowed to ask how much we're paying him?
I mean, I guess if you really want to know, we're paying him $16.50 an hour.
Okay, thank you.
So, is there any issue with that?
No.
Okay. Any other closing comments? Okay. We'll go ahead and open it up to audience comments then. It is now 7:50 p.m. We'll give it until 7:53. If there's a bunch of comments, we'll extend that. If there's no comments, we'll bring that time in. We'll wrap it up a little bit more quickly. We have, is there any updates on golf carts and off-road vehicles? No. We haven't had the discussion any further. We haven't any updates. We've kind of got other things that are taking a little bit more focus now than opening that up. And I think that winter's even a trickier time to try and introduce, some of those updates. Because while I enjoy snowmobiling, I've done it, I have a lot of fun. I don't want to necessarily encourage that on city streets, especially when you've got brand new roads. That kind of thing needs to stay to the trail and out in the country. And so that might be something that I suggest we kind of put off until springtime and tackle it at that point.
Yeah, I
instead of
agree.
winter.
Along with like speed humps and everything.
Yeah. Kathy Brinkmeyer asks, full-time ? Zach, full-time or part-time? He is a full-time employee. We need another full-time guy, especially coming in at winter season with snow and snow plowing and shoveling and, that whole gamut. And so hopefully we can cut down on some overtime a little bit and the amount of hours that get worked. Just because we had guys working around the clock last year and in previous years as well, and we're trying to get away from that. Mike L says they don't get $500,000 a year. That was for the water main project only. I think we're referencing back to the engineering agreement. Dollar General and Wooster Street project has used up the money, but we're going to get reimbursed by Dollar General and the Wooster Street project. But we just need to get that escrow account to be filled and those checks to be processed. Let's see, I'm gonna go ahead and jump over to Facebook, make sure we've got no comments there. Not seeing any messages or anything. Nothing on YouTube further than what we've read. And we've got no new attendees. As far as attendees go, I would really like to encourage residents to register as attendees, to submit question and answers, and that I think it'll help kind of smooth this process out a little bit. So with that being the case, I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. If I can get a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
If I can get a second.
Linda.
I'll second.
Okay, and then Carolyn, roll call. Thank you.
Shirley Burkhorn,
Aye.
Ryan Wakely,
Aye.
Conrad Levinsky,
Aye.
Jordan Dirksen,
Aye.
Camille Wilcox,
Aye.
Linda Wolforth.
Aye.
Okay, with that, the meeting's adjourned. Everyone have a good evening.
Have a nice Thanksgiving. Have a safe Thanksgiving.
You
Happy
too.
You
Thanksgiving.
too.
Same to everyone.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Good night.
Night, everybody.